Hey everybody. I hope y'all are doing okay. Happy Saturday. I hope y'all enjoying your weekend. I'm back for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 8, Episode 10, New Kids on the Cell Block. That's such a crazy name. First, I just want to begin by saying rest in peace, Kiki Jabar. I'm be honest, it's a little surreal for me. I don't wish that on anybody. Um, and, like I said in my post, regardless of what anybody may think or have said about her, this is still a show for our entertainment. We only get a segment of somebody's life. That's a mother, that's a wife. I can't imagine what her kids who are still school age are going through. And I just want to respect that. I don't know the extent of self harm or not. I do know it seems like carbon monoxide poisoning, and I know you're always supposed to keep the garage door up if you're in your car and it's running. And that's something my mother had told us from the time we were small, because she had a neighbor that had died that way. And so I just rest in peace. I'm praying for the family, for her husband, for her kids, and I'm not. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in social media and things like that. People's families have the right to feel the way they feel when they're grieving a loss. I'm not going to analyze it. I'm not here. I mean, I've analyzed it in my own time, but I'm not about to judge people for that, because pain is pain, and I'm just going to leave it there. Also, another PSA, and I haven't made a video on this, not because I couldn't, but because I've just been so pissed off. Let me explain something to y'all about a PSA. Y'all need to vote in the presidential election. Now, I am somebody who watched my mother vote on a regular basis. She would take us to do kids voting and everything down south. We will always do that, okay? And then it was when I learned to register to vote, I realized how hard that shit was for black people in Georgia, okay? And Georgia ain't the only place, but I can tell you what my experience was. I don't give a fucking dog fuck if Joe Biden is on fucking life support, okay, on that first Tuesday in November. He could be barely alive. And if they tell me he's dead that day, I will still vote for him. I know he fucked up that debate. And no, it's not comparable to when Barack Obama had been president for 4 years and had that rough first debate with Mitt Romney. I watched all that shit. Barack Obama was in his prime. Yes, I get it. Joe Biden, we can talk about it. And I think when we talk about third-party candidates, we should be doing that more than a year ahead of time, or barely a year ahead of time. We got to be real. When these white people, when Donald Trump said, and some of y'all didn't grow up down south, and even if you didn't grow up down south, some of y'all are just a little out of touch with racist realities. And I don't mean just somebody saying the N-word or this and the other. All of that's part of it. Don't get me wrong. But let me tell you something. When Donald Trump got up there and said, if I don't win, it's going to be a bloodbath, that was barely a dog whistle. Let me tell you something about racist white people. They make good on those kind of fucking promises. Okay? I know. I have studied white history. White people mean that shit. They'll do that shit. I went to school with that shit. That is real. I am fucking voting for my goddamn life. This shit ain't funny to me. Genocide Joe, absolutely. And I'ma still be on the side of the Palestinians. Israel colonized their land in 1948. The British helped them fucking do it. And those are brown people. This shit ain't about a religion. But at least we got a chance to fucking push this motherfucker over. Okay? I don't like Kamala either, necessarily. Because I was in California when she was locking up them black parents for shit when you knew they had to fucking work, and making it a crime for the way truancy was happening no good, and goddamn well if they had the right kind of fucking services, they could make sure their kids were off, but they were trying to make a fucking living. I don't give a fuck. But I will tell you this. This is about them not wanting, I'm going to spare the word, in charge. I don't give a shit. Donald Trump, it's not that he created this element of white supremacy and white violence. It has always been here. We have been the property of white people. And in the words of Paul Mooney, okay, I read the White Slave Master's Handbook, and getting away wasn't a chapter, and they still fucking mad about it. Okay, they're mad about it. I don't, all this, oh, whatever, Trump does, We saw what the fuck he does. Them white people walked up there, took over Capitol Hill. Didn't none of them motherfuckers get shot down like dogs the way black people did when they were asked? We were just saying our fucking lives matter. That's what the fuck black people have to say. In 1963, black people were saying we're marching for jobs and freedom. In 2020, beginning like 2013, 2014, Mike Brown's death, we were saying Black Lives Matter. That is a serious, that's telling. We went from wanting jobs and freedom to just, like, I need you to let me live? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Fuck Donald Trump. I don't give a shit how many stupid, idiot black celebrities who feel like, oh, well, we'll be okay no matter what. I tell you what, if there is anything history has taught us, any nigga can go broke. Yeah, you can. And it don't matter how much money you have, you still get treated like that. There's a reason why they were making Michelle Obama a gorilla in South America and everywhere else. There's a reason why Barack Obama had more death threats than any other president in history of the United States, and even before he was president, had more death threats than anybody who ever ran for president. It don't matter your status. Y'all better quit playing around with these white people. They make good on that shit. Now, I done said what I need to say, and I do this for fun, but I don't give a fuck. It's because I'm so pissed off. Yeah, Joe Biden is senile. Donald Trump is old too. Donald Trump is a goddamn rapist. His own first wife in court records accused him of raping her during their marriage. Multiple women. And this son of a bitch got a whole movement. They were just marching downtown with white fucking handkerchiefs over their face in Nashville, Tennessee today, July 6, 2024. Y'all don't play around with this shit. I don't give a fuck about no Waka Flocka, bald-headed Amber Rose who ain't black or wants to be black when, you know, she can fuck a rapper and get some money. Fuck her. Fuck all of them. Project 2025, read that shit. You can Google it. They're making it accessible. They're trying to remind us where the fuck we belong. And they will do it violently. They mean that shit. This is not a drill. Fuck it. Oh, neither one of them deserve my vote. I don't give a fuck. You, fuck it. I realize that, but at least I got a chance to protest without completely believing I'm gonna die every time I fucking walk the street with Joe Biden. Don't be stupid, y'all. Don't. And I really do mean that. People always doing that ignorant shit. Them self-hating black people. Oh, well, you don't have to vote Democrat just because black people do that. You need to listen to what they're saying. White Republicans, okay, are not black friendly. They haven't been. They sit up here snatching our fucking rights to even vote, saying you have to go to the DMV to get an ID to vote, and then shut down all the DMVs in these black counties throughout Alabama and Georgia and Louisiana. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody, I certainly ain't bowing this rape to no white man. I be goddamn, I'm literally voting for my life. And you are too, whether or not you realize it. So cut the bullshit. Now that's my PSA. And it's hard for me to even go back to this ignorant shit, especially after I done said what I said, but I want y'all to hear me. All right, now, and I mean it. I ain't gonna say I'm sorry for shit, because I ain't. Now, if you're watching this video still, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you don't, oh well, because I mean every word that just came out my fucking mouth. All right, so we start off with Nell and Chris. Nell goes to visit Chris at his real estate office because apparently they can't talk at home. Anyway, she shows up in a periwinkle off-the-shoulder dress. I was like, where are y'all going? Are you, like, visiting him? What the fuck? At least when Fletcher shows up at her job, he, like, carrying a box of glue or something for little kids. And Fletcher just happens to have on a two-piece part of a three-piece bluish suit, and she has on, like, this periwinkle dress. Y'all matching? But y'all couldn't talk at home? Okay, then. So he tells her that he's looking at houses for Sonny and Moses as a real estate broker. Nell was like, you agreed to that? Nell, aren't you a business owner? Okay? Because he couldn't even get the words out of his mouth. I was like, yeah, why wouldn't he? She was like, are you sure that's not going to be a conflict of interest with Destiny? Does Destiny pay y'all's bills now? And it seemed like y'all got a lot of them because of these kids y'all keep letting leech off of you. Does she pay y'all's bills at all? No, because Destiny, like the rest of America, has a hard time paying her bills as well. Shout out to inflation. Fuck inflation while I'm at it. Does Fletcher even know Destiny outside of social media and this show? That was just my question then, but we'll get to it. So, and it's business. No, I am one of those people. I'm here for backing people you're close to, no matter what. But I'm also not a business person. I'm a history teacher. My degrees are in history. They are not in finance and economics. And we know, if anything, people who focus on any kind of entrepreneurship, by and large, do not have a conscience around those things. It's business. That's how you feed your family. Excessively, apparently, but nevertheless, cut it out. Chris is not the best friend. He's not the brother. He's not the pastor. He ain't the uncle. He ain't the rabbi. It's his job to find a house. That's it now. And you know that. I personally don't think Moses can count. Like literally 1, 2, 3. I don't. He just seems slow to me, but that's just me. But if y'all say so, he can barely string together 2 sentences on his own while he's walking around with a wife that looks like she could be his mother. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. For the moment. My voice is kind of funny because, you know, I've been working and the program goes Monday through Saturday. Apparently something went down today. The parents came. I got the hell out of there. I don't get paid for that. But I don't get paid that much for it, should I say, to be that kind of stressed. But, you know, that's my bread and butter. That's why I can't be doing these videos all the time unless I have something to talk about, because my bread and butter is teaching. All right. Anyway, so she showed up at his job, talked to him about the kids needing money. And they were like, this is always like Kiki and Chris, who's like her niece, daughter, you know how that goes. And another one of the kids, I can't remember. Apparently this is really stressful for Nell, and I get it. Handing out money to your kids. She was like, when we, over and over again, we're paying for rent, for utilities, it adds up. I was thinking to myself, yeah, because that shit, I got to pay mine every month. She was like, we need to set boundaries. She said it's taking a toll on my mental health. Nell was basically saying that Chris hadn't noticed that it's affecting her mental health. I believe that. And I understand that. I do. But with that big ass house y'all got, why are y'all paying rent and utilities for these kids on their own? If you have to pay for that shit, then make a deal with them. Make them stay at your house. If I already got to pay it, stay here, and you're going to live by my rules. You're not going to be going in and out all kinds of times of the night. And if they don't want to, then guess what? Figure it the fuck out and take care of yourself so you don't have to live like you no child. Like everybody else, they got to figure it out. Problem solved. Next. Anyway, Fletcher goes to show Sonny and Moses a home. Fletcher said, y'all ain't going to get away with his money or his TV time. You all right with me, Fletcher, though. You do. Even when you mess up, you still kind of all right with me. So we find out Destiny is supposed to be someone Fletcher calls his little sister. That's news to me. But he doesn't feel like he should have to tell her about the selling. You goddamn right you don't. Not so much even because of her. One, because it's business, like I told y'all. But it's also private. Like, our bids, like, when you make a bid for a house, is that public? Because it's not a commercial property. And I don't know. It's not a commercial property. Like, I know it becomes public once you actually sell it. But it's also somebody's business. Them looking for a house is their business. I wouldn't want somebody that untrustworthy, but that's just me. So he takes him to a house that Martell, I guess, was supposed to be sweeping the floor on. But, Martell says he built it. Oh, okay, Martell. All right, so Martell asked if he talked. Is this the one where he was building on the garden? Because the only thing I could see growing there was a tree house. But, hey, sometimes people get it together. Finally. Anyway, Martell asked if he talked to Destiny. And Martell, you're in no position to talk about loyalty with your messy ass. So Sonny walked in with knee-high, like, bright baby pink boots with cut-off jean shorts and a cardigan. And what seemed supposed to be a designer bag, but there was nothing in it, I could tell. She barely had 2 keys in there. I could just tell. And I was just like, why? What? It just wasn't giving fly for her age. It wasn't. Like Michelle Obama fly for her age. Like, it was fly, right? It was bad. Like, you could look at it, and even if you didn't like her that day, it don't matter whether you liked her or not. She was bad. Like, you gotta take care of yourself and not try to look like you 23 when you 53. That's all I'm saying. Now, anyway, so she walked in and said, I like the floors. I was like, you do? How the fuck them floors any different from... Never mind. It was a basic home, and it was a starter home. It's like, I'm not like shading it, but I'm like, for people who's supposed to be, whatever. So Sunny is telling them how she is going through IVF. They've done a second time. Whatever. Sunny wants a baby. I knew that even by them mentioning family. She wants a baby. She didn't want to get pregnant without a husband. And the shit is getting tired. Okay? This fake ass story about y'all falling in love and all that shit, miss me. They bring up the Lovers and Friends Gala, which was actually nothing. I don't even know what the fuck that was. That just looked like a banquet dinner get together. Well, like, yeah, we bought this food, but the real event was canceled, so everybody just come and eat it up so it don't get wasted. That's what it looked like. Anyway, so Sunny says she understands that Destiny is in her feelings or whatever. Moses said he's not mad at how she's feeling, but she fumbled the ball with him. I'm like, why are you such a bitch? Destiny was right. She was like, he wanted me he wanted me to treat him like he was my girlfriend. Like, what do you mean you fumbled the motherfucker? You are nothing to be fighting over. Destiny's hurt. She probably did like you or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't see it. I just don't see what the fuss is over. And I was just like, why is Moses such a bitch? Say what? Sonny, he's still bringing up that Destiny fumbled the ball as a reason for him being with you. I would feel a motherfucking way that my man was bringing up Destiny over and over again and what she failed to do, and therefore I'm with you, because it's giving rebound. It's giving second tier. It's giving, this is just to make her jealous. And it is. It's giving that because it is the case. Martell said he's neutral, and he's told Destiny that he doesn't have anything against Moses, even though they have been dating. Chris interrupts and says, oh, you can be neutral? Martell was gagged, like hairball in the throat gag. Martell was like, no, you and your wife, y'all take sides with Melody based on what Melody says. And Chris was just like, nope, that's not what happens. Then Martell's bitch girl ass in the confessional says it's two different things. Me and Mel were married and we had kids. And I was like, so? It's actually worse for you to be neutral because Destiny is your friend, Martell. Hell, Chris and Nell met y'all as a couple. It wasn't like, Mel knew Nell before y'all got married, or you knew Chris before you got married. The fact that you've known Destiny all these years and she's been your individual friend, it actually makes you look worse to be neutral. Sunny is a classic liar, though. She tries to act reasonable to cover her behavior, knowing she's a nasty, snakish bitch, and then we're just all supposed to believe that Destiny is bad. Girl, we done seen this. I'm not here for it. I don't even like Destiny. I hate the fact that she's even made it necessary for me to even take up for Destiny in any way. But bullshit is bullshit. And as a woman who I consider myself mature and grown, and I've lived. I don't tell everybody all my business, but trust me, I've lived. And I'm not going for that shit. And I'm not going to act like it's acceptable. Anyway, Stormy and Martell meet up at Stormy's warehouse. Y'all already know how I feel about Stormy. Okay. You know what? Maybe I will just ease up. I can't promise that. So she's talking to Martell about that whack-ass, corny-ass gala with the extra food that everybody had to eat before it went bad. She asked him about the weird energy between Martell and Trish from some weeks ago that we don't give a fuck about. Stormy was like, well, the interaction was given like y'all knew each other in a different way. It was, but okay. He said, well, before Ken, he invited her to the crib because he was interested, but nothing happened. Now, even though we watched all this shit go down, this show has been on for about 5 years. Him and Mel had still been married in the course of that time and divorced, going through a divorce. Were you still technically married to Mel when this happened? I ain't even started on Trish. Martell, you saying this is before Ken. Weren't you still married to Mel or not fully divorced? Because they've been dating for like 2 years. They've been living together for a year, but dating before then. Basically, so everything you're accusing Mel of, you are, which I've already said, because that's what narcissistic projection does. Anyway, Martell said, well, I was shocked Mel wasn't at the game. What the fuck you bringing her up for? He wanted her to be there. He wanted to start some shit. He needs her attention. She brings up his mugshot for harassing communications and then starts talking about how it is so easy just to get a warrant. Stormy is blaming the millimeters for the warrant and blaming Mel. I'm not going to even sit here and act like I went and looked up this shit with Stormy. I do know that people can have some evidence on you and get a warrant. Okay? However, Stormy is blaming the millimeters for the warrant and not her individual behavior. And that seems like somebody who will make that mistake again if you're not careful. Okay? Because at the point in which you have something to fucking lose, and I've had to learn this too, and, you know, my mother always taught me, don't you ever in your life let nobody make you mad enough. I ain't going to even go into it because, you know, them people didn't try you. But you have to also consider what you have to lose. And in my life, I haven't always had things to lose. I was trying to gain things. And even though what I have may not be a lot, I know where God has brought me from, and I don't want to lose it. And you have to be careful with the way you deal with people. Martell said, well, we have something in common. And he understands this better than anybody else because of the millimeters and all of those shit. I said, what the fuck? Y'all are creating a storyline that does not exist for me. I know people have crazy fans. I get it. We saw this with Tamar Braxton. We saw this with people on Love and Hip Hop. And, like, we've seen it all. We've seen it all, okay? But you threatened a sex tape, Martell, and exposure of a private sex tape with you and Mel when y'all were married to basically control her and try to bring her back. And it failed, and it's illegal, and you knew what you were doing. And you kept going, and I definitely believe Mel that she let a lot of shit go before she actually went down there. But at the point in which you have kids, and that can be completely humiliating for them, and it should have been humiliating for you to even say and do that and use that against your ex-wife. Y'all had 4 kids. We know y'all was fucking, okay? And you should be. Y'all were together. That's fine. Whomever this woman was that showed up at Stormy's warehouse, even though we know that you almost lost your whole estate playing around with Courtney's money with these hair care products. Anyway, when she showed up on private property because you essentially own it, Stormy, it was a business. You should have called the police for this woman trespassing. And I know maybe that's not the way you wanted to handle it in terms of how you felt. But once again, I do know then you had something to lose. You got a mugshot and a 3-year-old baby walking around. And I knew Courtney didn't seem... He always has this nervous kind of laugh when it comes to things that are intense. But I just think he didn't seem that surprised. Which says to me something had gone down. Now, I'm not excusing... I don't think a mother should be dragged to jail over some back and forth shit. But I also think when you're a mother and a wife, it's not other people's responsibility to say, well, she's a mother and she's a wife, so I'm not going to say anything about the fact they're mistreating me or fucking over me. Now, am I the kind of person that considers that about people? Yes. Does everybody have to? No. So I do know warrants can be sent out for things and it can be weaponized for the smallest things, and it probably will get thrown out. But Martell's shit is not small and it's not the same thing. He is such a bitch. He loves to hear negative shit about Melody. She's not coming back. I don't care what Stormy is talking about with changing her number. We don't care. Both of y'all get the fuck over it. Moving on. Kimmy and Maurice meet up for dinner with Sonny and Moses. Okay, this fake little campaign y'all are trying to do with these bullshit scenes on reality TV to make us think that y'all aren't as bad as we think y'all are. Y'all are fucking messy. And everywhere y'all go, y'all talking about Destiny in detail. It's not working. We're not believing it. Even on reality TV, we're not believing it. Okay, so Kimmy is claiming that Destiny is her friend. And, you know, her and Destiny haven't always been cool, but this is messed up. It is messed up. Okay? Destiny wants to, like, lease an office or something, office space from them or whatever. And she says she may feel uncomfortable with this. So she says she's worried about how Destiny will feel. They're sitting down to dinner. Was it me or it just appeared like Kimmy and Maurice hadn't talked in 2 days? Like, he showed up at a restaurant, like, basically, like, why are we here? And she's giving him this rundown. He don't really know how her day is. I know I'm shaking his camera, but y'all will be okay. Now, if not, I'm sure you'll put it in the comments. Anyway, so, I don't care. Kimmy did say straight up, Sonny tells him that they're moving to Huntsville to start a family. Sonny, we get it. Your biological clock is ticking. You want to have a child. I get it. I get it. I get it. As much as I can. I've always been kind of one of those people, you know, if I have a kid, yeah. If I don't, my life will go on. And I think I had to come to a point where I realized that maybe it wasn't that I wanted kids, but I was worried about what people would think if I didn't have them. And once you come to terms with that, sometimes you can have peace. So I don't mean to dismiss somebody wanting to have kids. What I'm saying is you didn't need to go and be with your friend's ex-man. Barely ex-man. That's what I'm saying. So, and you know how many kids don't have homes? And I know people want their own, but when you get it like this, it never works out. Never. Like, we've seen this in real life, in fake life, in movie. Like, there are so many cautionary tales. Anyway, so Sonny tells them that they are moving to Huntsville to start a family. Kimmy was straight up that she thinks this may be rubbing salt in the wound by moving there because it's, I mean, the chances of picking Huntsville, Alabama without a job offer, it's clear destiny is there. Okay, anyway, she didn't fall in love with Huntsville. Stop saying that. And neither did Moses. Y'all need this show for money and are pretending to set up here. If Moses wants to be in Huntsville, it's because he knows Destiny is there and he wants to be with her. She wants to be there because she is still in some sick, twisted competition with Destiny and wants to be where Moses' attention is drawn, which is to Destiny. That's the bottom line. I don't understand why anybody would be jealous of Destiny. I don't like Destiny, but that ain't the fucking point. I can see through the bullshit and I'm not going to play these games. You can't help who you fall in love with. They are not in love. She's jealous of her. He's mad at her for not being with him. And they're both trying to hurt her. And you have been successful. The problem is then y'all have to live with each other. Then y'all have to have kids together and deal with each other. Is it worth it? I can tell you right now the answer is no. But that's okay. Karma's a bitch. Anyway, I think Sonny is a snake bitch. And I made that very clear. She's a snake bitch and so is her forehead. What do you mean? You hope y'all can be in the same room one day without a fight. Bitch, y'all were friends. Destiny believed y'all were friends. Stop saying y'all got along. You know, basically like we had a cordial relationship when you were her producer. Y'all were hanging out. She thought y'all were friends and you did her fucking wrong. I don't give a fuck if they broke up. 3 weeks later you're with him. Oh, these are the things we had in common. Bitch, you knew you had those things in common because Destiny thought y'all were friends and was telling you about her man. Cut it out. Cut it out. You ain't gonna never get me to say that shit's okay with anybody. I can hate your fucking guts and still go, that's wrong. It's just like when it comes to domestic violence and shit like that, I don't even play them games. I can hate your guts. I don't wish that on my worst fucking enemy. The trauma that people endure with that kind of thing, no. Nope. 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 I'm not defending Destiny. I am defending the integrity of relationships. That doesn't make any sense, but I know what I mean. Anyway, Sonny and Fletcher, so Sonny starts telling them about how Fletcher showed them a house, you know, Martell's property where he sweeps the floor and then tells people he built it. Anyway, girl, this seemed like the way Maurice was talking, it just seemed like a welcome to Huntsville tour. And he's the friendly black guy who can tell you about the city. The conversation was forced. It didn't look enjoyable for Kimmy. Kimmy looked fucking over it. Okay, I would have just been ordering shit just to keep myself busy. Give me some mozzarella sticks. I don't even care. Like, whatever it takes, get them out the freezer, fry them up for me. Sonny said she started doing IVF even before they were married. I said, y'all need to stop talking about the way in which y'all met in the timeline because it gets worse and worse for y'all. Maurice starts telling us about unfortunate events in his life and his family and things that just happened that, you know, sent, you know, them down to a spiral or whatever at times in his life, which is sad. But it seemed kind of like a downer set of information as they continued to talk about it over dinner to not have been family or good friends. Because sometimes good friends already kind of have an idea. And then you talk about things and you're just kind of exchanging, experiences. Kimmy was sitting there giving, and I hate to bring it up because I can't even fuck with that shit no more because Bill Cosby fucked it up. But Kimmy was sitting there giving that Claire Huxtable face shade. She wasn't going for it. But okay, so this scene went on way too long. Moses was in jail 8.5 to 15 years total, like when you calculate it all up. I'm sorry he has lost so many people, even to COVID. However, that did not help me understand his bullshit behavior any better than what I already knew, and I was right about what I already knew. Moses claims he's a real estate owner. He does investment properties. He has a trucking company, which is fine. Somebody who gets out of jail can do that, and that actually to me is a good thing. You need to put your money into something that will be legal and you can be around for you, your family, and then the family you're starting. She says, he's successful and now we're going to have a family. All I could think was this is not going to last long, and it's giving a Kenya Moore kind of divorce. Like you'll be divorcing longer than you were ever married and living together. That's what it's giving me. Chris and Nell call the kids to the house. Nell wants to ask them what's going on. They're asking for too much money, so on and so forth. Her son got a job as a supervisor. What he's supervising, I have no idea. But I'm always glad to see black people working, especially in a recession. They can sit up here and tell y'all it's just inflation. No, this is a goddamn recession. And they keep driving up the prices because they're fucking greedy. And we're paying for a war to go and dominate and to help recolonize the Palestinians. And I'm not fucking here for it. Okay, but I'm still going to vote for Joe Biden even if he's fucking dead. Because I'm not trying to be lynched and I don't want to see my family lynched and all that other shit. And y'all can think that's an overreach. It's not. It's not. All right. So Nell got straight to it. She was like, I'm tired of giving y'all money and they shouldn't call her unless it's an emergency. I get it. She said it's always something. They want to use their money for their own things, whatever. Chris helps her out and says basically y'all need to pay y'all's own shit. Okay? The things that a father can do in the family that other people can't. I wish my parents could have even loaned me money and then I just paid them back. I had to figure it out. Like, I had to figure it out, okay? Went to California to grad school, had to figure it out. I mean, I'm not saying they couldn't once in a while send me. They didn't have money to send me like that. Then I finished, got my PhD and still moved to New York. And that stuff sounds good, but it don't pay just because you have a degree in your hand. So I'm just sitting up here like, y'all have no idea how good y'all fucking have it. And I think Nell said the only people she's willing to put in front of her is her grandkids. And I believe her. I just wish she wouldn't have said it. And the reason why I say that is because, a good grandmother who typically is a great mother, okay, will always do that to make sure the kids are provided for. I wasn't judging her for that at all. Because now the conversation when they need money will be all about the grandkids. It's time for school where they don't want to be left out. I want them to go to private school. Next thing you know, they pocketing the money and shit. Because they know she's not going to neglect the grandkids. Because they seem like those kind. Kiki, the niece, has a moment. I get it. And Nell, we all know Nell did not mean that. And Nell felt bad for it. But I get it. And she acknowledged her emotions. Nell did everything that anybody should do in that situation. Even though I'm sure her and Chris have been overextended with an additional member of the family. And she wasn't, So anyway, Chris asked them if they can have a group therapy family session. I said, if they bring Iyanla on here, I'm fucking done. Because you know how OWN just will pop up with some people. And Iyanla is not no goddamn doctor. Somebody got so mad at me for saying that. She ain't no fucking doctor. Anybody can live. She's a pick-me bitch with low self-esteem who got a show and had a few other online degreed psychologists advising her for the thing. I don't give a shit. When she called that childhood rape victim a hoe, said she was hoeing for money, I was done. And that was years ago. Anyway, but they not. They're bringing up Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis is good, based on what I've seen. And I have an older black psychoanalyst, a well-trained black man, older man, and I can tell a good doctor, okay? Now, then they start fighting over who needs a therapist. And them spoiled ass fucking kids trying to make it about, oh, yeah, you should sit down. Fuck you. And that's all I got to say. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend. Hopefully, this first session of this summer program will be over. Why am I saying like, hopefully? Yeah, it will end, but Anyway, God is good. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. See y'all soon. And be nice to each other, okay? Down in the comments. All right, bye-bye.